Most men walk through life with wounds they don't even know exist. These invisible wounds, often rooted in childhood trauma, shape their actions, beliefs, and even relationships without them even realizing it. We chase success, love, validation, but deep down we're stuck in these toxic patterns we don't even understand. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can heal these wounds, break free from these emotional cycles to help you become the man that you're truly meant to be. Let's get started. Lesson number 1, awareness of the inner child. What if I was to tell you that the reason why we act the way we act today is all because of our childhood? How we were raised, how we were treated, how we were brought up. I remember there was some statistics saying that around 80% of our development comes from our childhood, and that these past experiences, potential trauma, if gone unnoticed throughout when we grow up and become a young adult, we subconsciously act and react to how we did when we were little without even knowing it. These emotional cycles, fear of abandonment, getting anxious, clinging on, all these things, emotions, it's all unresolved trauma. It's almost like right now I'm looking at you and you're just a big muscular baby. You're a baby in an adult body. And no, I'm not roasting you, because this used to be me, literally 6 months ago. Before I read the book, How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera, I was a big baby. I would go through these emotional cycles. I would cling on to love. I would get extremely needy whenever a girl was to pull away. I'd chase. All because of my parents. I'm not making this video to shit on my parents. I'm extremely grateful for both my mum and my dad, and I think they raised me extremely well. But no one has perfect parents. It's a good thing that you're not perfect. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be little bits of trauma growing up, just because when you're little, you don't understand anything. But let's just say at times it almost felt like the love I was receiving when I was little, it was almost like an on and off switch. At times my parents would love me and I'd be super happy, but then the love would go. And I'd start to stress. I'd start to get these feelings of, I've been abandoned. This was the awareness of my inner child. And this would contribute to me growing up. When I'd start talking to girls, I'd ask the question of, does she actually like me? The girl would make it obvious that she would like me. She'd compliment me. She'd flirt with me. She'd even communicate with me. But I would still have trust issues, because it was just this unresolved, deep trauma I had. I know right now you're probably hearing the word trauma and it's an extremely intimidating word. And you're probably saying to yourself, Adrian, I'm not traumatized. I'm perfect. My parents were really good. I'm not If that's how you're reacting, I can guarantee you are 100% traumatized, because you're not even giving me a chance to explain myself. You're rushing, you're impatient, you're probably pretty insecure. And it's not a bad thing if you're traumatized. Because, like I said previously, having perfect parents is literally impossible. No one's perfect. It's just that no one has the balls to admit they want to share it and try and improve and help others. In the book, it states that the inner child carries emotions, beliefs, coping mechanisms from past experiences. This leads to emotional reactivity, avoidance, and people pleasing. When I first read this, it was like a big, big, big slap on the face. Like, holy shit, I wish I knew this earlier. I bought this book back in September last year, along with the book Attached, which speaks more about the attachment styles. And I was 22 when I first said to myself, holy fuck, I have past trauma and this needs to be fixed. I was 22. Like, I'm already like going into adulthood. Well, I'm an adult, bro. None of this young adult shit. I am an adult. But I was a big baby because I was so unaware. I lacked this emotional awareness of fuck. When a girl shows interest in me, I start to get avoidant because I think love is bad. I'll run away from love. I'll start to trigger this avoidance. But at times when the girl is running away from me, I would want to please her. And I'd chase. This is probably something new to you, and you're probably hearing this for the first time, and you still might be on like a low level of self-improvement. But I think a vital actionable step for you to take right now is to journal. I want you to journal what emotions you feel when you're trying to be vulnerable, when you're trying to love someone, when you're trying to get outside your comfort zone. Start to write down what emotions you feel. And I swear to God, bro, your awareness is going to increase drastically. You're going to be able to pinpoint where things went wrong and what you can do to become a better man. It's a shame to see that like most young guys don't care or think it's cringe to self-improve. There's this narrative that self-improvement is just go to the gym, get jacked and look smacks. But it goes way deeper than that surface level crap, which is like, yeah, it's important. I love gym. I love looks maxing. But like, you got to dig deep, bro. Do you want to become a high quality man? Do you want to be in the top 1%? Because you watch this video, you want answers. Well, here they are, bro. We have to heal these wounds. And you can start by journaling every night. Writing down why you hate being vulnerable. Writing down why you are afraid to love. Take action. Lesson number 2, emotional addiction. Have you ever noticed when you're sad, you know that it's bad and you know that you want to stop being sad to feel better, but there's this part of you that wants to keep feeling sad, wants to keep crying. Because believe it or not, a little part of it actually feels kind of good. The same thing when you're angry. When you're angry with, let's say, your parents, you know the best thing to do is to shut the fuck up so the argument can stop and you can go back to work. But you keep arguing because you like the emotions you're feeling in the moment. You want to keep feeling angry. You want to smash something. Brother, this is called emotional addiction. And this is making you a weaker man. You're not stoic. You're letting your emotions get the best of you. When I'm sad, as much as it sucks, as upsetting as it is, I have to move on. There's no other choice. I can't just be sad for 2, 3, 4 months, half of the year, and expect there to be no consequences. You really have to stop self-sabotaging yourself because this is just... it's not doing you any good, man. What if you were to flip this and rewire your brain and say to yourself, I'm happy, even though this is a shock because I'm never happy. Let's keep feeling happy. Let's ride this wave instead of thinking being happy, showing love, being caring, respectful, kind are bad things because they're not. As guys, it's like we got brought up to feel like we can't be vulnerable. We can't show these good emotions because that's feminine. But this is the stupidest crap you'll ever hear. I'm not saying for you to be a sook and yeah, be emotional, cry to your girl, do all this bad emotion stuff. But what if you were to showcase more of the good emotions and get addicted to those because they're actually good for fulfilling relationships? And not this bad stuff like arguing, like frustration, envy. It's almost like emotional junk food. And you don't want to eat that, bro. You want emotional nourishment. Caring, respectful, loving, joyful, funny, exciting. Right now, you're ignoring those emotions because you think they're bad. And you think because of your past trauma, if you showcase them, you think you'll only scare off your lover. I know this is easier said than done, but these good nourishing emotions, they're going to make things a whole lot easier if you can just dive deep into them. Because they're not feminine. It doesn't make you weak. If anything, you're a whole lot weaker just because you keep being addicted to this negative emotional cycle of feeling upset and then just continuing to feel upset no matter what. A girl could give you a bunch of roses because you're upset about something else. You're just going to be upset at this. It's immaturity. You're becoming an adult, bro. Start disciplining yourself to express these good emotions more often. You disciplined yourself to go to the gym yesterday. You disciplined yourself to not fap. You're actually doing the right self-improvement habits, but you're still ignoring these other emotions because you think self-improvement isn't part of that. You think self-improvement is just go to the gym, don't fap, cold showers, be a fucking robot and don't be vulnerable ever. You know what the biggest regret people have when on their deathbed? It's that they didn't express themselves enough in their relationships. Do you really want that to be you? Relationships is one of the most important parts of life. That's why like most of my recent videos have been about relationships. Because younger Adrian used to neglect relationships. Younger Adrian used to think it was cool being the Sigma lone wolf, not socializing, not going on dates because girls are a distraction. I'm not going to speak to girls. I'm focused on success and money. Which, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. We'd all love a little bit of success and money. But what's that without the relationships? I would rather be broke and have no success but have some of the most fulfilling relationships. Yeah, try do both. Be that top tier man and try accomplish both. But right now, I know if you're watching these types of videos, it's because you're probably a little bit lonely. Because I used to watch these videos and I knew what deep down was missing. It was love. And I couldn't find this because I still had these inner deep wounds. And I know this is really, really, really personal and deep. It takes a lot of trust for you to take action on these learnings. But bro, please trust me. I'm just a normal guy in my room, wearing a hoodie, teaching what I've learned in this book. And I hope you can find what I say valuable. I hope this helps you learn a thing or two. I hope this can make you throw out that emotional junk food and start nourishing yourself more with these feel-good emotions because it's actually only going to improve the quality of your life. Lesson number 3, breaking generational cycles. You do know trauma is passed down from generation to generation. Have a look at your parents and then have a look at their parents and then maybe even take a look at your parents' parents. Go deep. Do some history. I know you didn't do history in school, but do some history now because this is going to help you. Look back at your family tree and take a good look at like if anyone was like crazy successful. Most likely no. Now go deeper than this. Why weren't my great-grandparents, why weren't they successful? Were they traumatized? Were their parents bad parents? Maybe, I don't know. But what I do know is that the successful families, their grandparents were hard workers and had less emotional junk food. Their parents were also not as traumatized. What if I was to tell you that the one reason why your whole bloodline isn't successful is because generation after generation, trauma has been passing down? Your grandparents, to your parents, to you right now watching this video. This should motivate you. For you to realize that you have no other choice but to save the future of your bloodline, to stop them from going into the same cycle which you have been in for your last 18 years you've been alive. You can save them. You just have to do the work. Trauma gets passed down. So why don't you get some balls and say, this isn't going to be my future kids. This isn't going to be my future grandkids, because I'm going to put a stop to this and heal myself. I'm being selfish right now to help my future family. And that will almost guarantee us success. Because the more we can eliminate emotional junk and the more we can feel better more often, be more loving, be more caring, be more respectful, we will attract what we want to attract. I seriously hate to see it, and I hate to say this, but we are the last option. We know how much harder this world is becoming to live in. Inflation, natural disasters, house prices increasing. Everything's becoming harder. You hear the saying of, oh, I wish I could have lived in 1980s because all I had to do was work one job and then I could buy. Yeah, well, that's the past. We're playing the game at a harder difficulty right now. And I want to help you. And I want to help myself. Stop making excuses. Start doing what you feel like the successful people are doing. Follow the path they've set out. Deep breathe, meditate, journal like I told you in lesson 1. And you will heal from this trauma. These inner wounds which just sap your desire and energy to become a better man. Start embracing more of these masculine traits like being a leader, providing, reassuring. Start actually being the man and stop sitting on the sidelines. You can be the leader. You can save your bloodline from future trauma. You have the opportunity now, bro. So make the most of it. Lesson number 4, ego versus authentic self. I'm looking at you now, and I hate to say it, bro, but you probably have the biggest ego in this country. You can't admit whenever you've been wrong. You can't listen to someone trying to help teach you. You're not even allowing yourself to be your most authentic self. All because of your ego. I touched on a lot about ego in my previous video, speaking about the book, The Power of Now. So if you want to learn more about how to detach yourself from your ego, please check that video out. But for right now, you're not being authentic. You're holding on too much to this perceived self-image you have of yourself and that you don't want others to think of you differently. But what if I was to tell you that others will actually start to treat you even better than if you were to be your authentic self and admit when you were wrong, admit when you were right, and listen to them and take what they said with value? every single time you feel an emotion and you think it's bad to express it, that's your ego talking. That's your ego saying to yourself, I'm not going to tell her I'm anxious because it makes me feel like a bitch. So I'm just going to say I'm not anxious. That's inauthentic. Like, what the hell, bro? You want to know who some of the most authentic humans were? Cavemen. You know why? There were no rules. There was no logic. When they wanted to fart, they would fart. When they wanted to poo, they would poo. There were no rules. They were their most authentic selves. Now, obviously, I'm not saying be a caveman and just poo in fucking public. Have some manners, have some respect, but realize that right now, you have a lot of room to grow to become more authentic. It's just that your ego is making you incapable of doing so. Read books like Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. You've been going throughout life with these really, really bad wounds and a big, big ego. These two things, when you can fix them and eradicate the ego part, brother, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to want to do anything you want to do. There will be no rules. No one can limit you. You have and create your own limits. Right now, it's Friday night again. It's 7 p.m. All of my old friends from high school, they're out drinking, going to the club, watching sports. I'm in my room talking to you because this feels like my most purposeful act. Sitting on my chair, in my room, talking to my iPhone. I'm allowed to do this, and I can do this with such confidence because I feel like I've made progress with healing these wounds I once had. Now, I'm not sitting here and bragging like, oh, look at me. I'm fully healed, guys. No, I'm not doing that. If anything, I'm still pretty insecure and I still have wounds. I'm still trying to become better. But I think I have made progress from point A to point B, and I want you to experience this as well. Your ego right now is a defense mechanism. You need to start embracing vulnerability because this is going to help you and just erase so much resistance and mental turmoil. Just from you having a little bit of balls and just saying, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to actually start to say how I feel because there's nothing bad with that. I'm just being myself. And if people don't like that, then they clearly don't deserve to be in my life. Bro, like, why pretend to be someone you're not? So many people will either fake it till they make it or just never take any risks because they're scared of being themselves. No one is like you. And no one is like me. When we can heal, when we can progress, we are unstoppable. It's just that big fat ego right now is that one thing holding you back. And I really hope you slap it in the face, give it an uppercut, and tell it to shut up. Lesson number 5, reparenting yourself. Your caregiver most likely didn't fulfill your needs, didn't give you enough love, didn't show enough affection, and probably upset you a lot of the times. But what if I was to tell you that right now you have the option of reparenting yourself? You have the option of forgetting about whatever happened in the past, but trying to rebuild to give your future self a much more happier life. You're probably thinking, oh, I can't reparent myself. I need a kid. Brother, you're in your 20s, bro. If you can read these exact books I've read, maybe go even deeper than how deep I've gone, you can actually reparent yourself through self-help, through self-improvement. Reading books like Attached, How to Do the Work, Power of Now. Learning more about your past history and why you react like this when this happens. Why you get needy when she pulls away? Oh, because you fear abandonment. start to learn more about all of this stuff, your whole relationship life, your journey is going to be so much more smoother. And you're going to find the one sooner rather than later. And like, you can cope now. You can be like, oh, Adrian, what's the point of all of this? I've got my 9 to 5. I'm nice and cozy. I already have a girlfriend. Are you just saying all of this because you're watching this video? You want to be above average. Why settle? We all want the best thing. We all want to become the best. That's why you clicked on this video, because you were too lazy to read that book. You thought watching this video was an easier way for you to make progress, which, yeah, it probably was, but you're probably going to forget everything I have said in this video anyway, because you haven't journaled. You don't have the discipline to fucking pick up a pen and start writing on fucking paper. Just write what I've taught you in this video, because that takes too much discipline. You're sitting on your couch hearing me speak because it's relaxing. Yeah, what I'm saying is educational and valuable, but you forget it. You don't reparent yourself. You don't actually try dig deeper than this surface level crap like watching YouTube videos, bro. Reparent yourself. Start meditating. When was the last time you meditated? Probably fucking 6 months ago. A video I made like 6 months ago. Oh yeah, meditate. Oh yeah, I'm gonna meditate for 10 minutes. I can't meditate. I'm just going to give up meditating. I'll keep going gym. I'll keep having talking stages with girls and keep making the same mistakes because I don't know how to embrace vulnerability. I'm just addicted to all this emotional junk food and like to just cycle and re-feel these negative emotions. Even though I know deep down they make me feel like shit, I want to keep feeling them because I'm addicted. I'm a spastic. I'm a retard. I'm an imbecile. Or because I didn't take action on what Adrian said. Please, this video is like 30 minutes. If you can spend an extra 30 minutes and go back and rewatch it and take notes on what I taught you in this video, that is probably the most bang for buck actionable step you can take. Write down what I've taught you in this video, reparent yourself, become aware of your ego, emotional addiction, your inner child. Write it down on a piece of paper, bro, and I want you to just stick it up on your wall. See it every day. Remind yourself that I'm going to become a better man and no one can tell me otherwise. Not my own parents, not my friends. I'm going to do the deep work because that's what this book, How to Do the Work, taught me. And it's going to help save me because this investment, this $25 investment last year in September has changed my life. And I seriously hope it can help you. Stop making excuses. Defeat and succumb your inner child. And maybe one day you can be behind the camera teaching your lessons. So please, do the work. I hope this video motivated and educated you. I'm currently doing one-on-one coaching mentorship. It'll be the first link in the description. Other than that, make sure to click the subscribe. Other than that, make sure to click the subscribe button and also that little bell icon. It'll kind of like remind you when I do post these types of videos and you can watch them as soon as humanly possible. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.